Welcome to the Krista Escamilla Show.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for the Krista Escamilla Show. I'm so glad you're here spending some time with us, and I hope you are enjoying the cooler temperatures and the fall weather, and just really enjoying whatever it is you're doing in life. We are so happy to have today's guest with us today because Fiddlesticks Farms is one of the most joyful places you can go to in West Texas, and I will introduce her in just a minute. But first, thank you to our sponsors. We want to thank everyone that has supported our show for the past couple of years. Huge shout out to Kevin Foreman Financial, Rig ID, Thin FR, Midland Cap Company, Omni Midland Hotel, Tapestry Hotel Midland, and am I forgetting anybody else? JoinCapClub.com. Thank you for supporting local businesses, and we appreciate their support. So do what you can to just support local wherever you are. Now, for this big introduction, I'm so grateful to introduce you to today's guest. She is just a sweetheart, but let me start with her bio. She is a wife and mom first, a mom of 3 precious boys. She is also the owner of Fiddlesticks Farms, co-owner with her husband, Matt, and she is known as the boss lady.
Yes.
So big round of applause for Jessica Norton.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here.
I'm so glad you're here. I feel like this has been a long time coming.
Yes.
We've interviewed you through the years in news, and every time there was a big opening for Fiddlesticks Farms.
Yes.
But now we get to really hear your story, and I cannot wait to dive into it.
Oh, it's a long one.
Well, I can't wait because when I think of Fiddlesticks Farms, and I'll have you explain what it is for our viewers that are around the world that maybe haven't been here.
Okay.
When I think of it, though, I think of pure happiness and joy. And so I just want you to know that's what people think of it.
We appreciate that. I mean, that is our goal.
I love that.
Farming with the Texas 10, we want everyone to be happy and excited when they come out. And we were happy and excited to do this when we started 17 years ago. So,
gosh, I can't believe that. I remember. I mean, I feel like you and Matt were babies back then.
We were.
And tell us how it came to be. Tell us what Fiddlesticks Farms is. Tell us all this stuff.
Okay, so I guess going back to when we were growing up, he grew up in East Texas, and I grew up here in Midland, actually farming with my family. Okay. We both had agriculture backgrounds, but to get into traditional farming and ranching was very difficult, and it's gotten so expensive, and still is very expensive, but we wanted a way to supplement our income.
Right.
In case we had a bad year, in case it was a good year farming, if the maize didn't work out, we didn't know. There were so many unknowns.
And so did you already own the land? You were just like, okay, what are we going to do with this property?
So growing up, my family and I had land down south towards Rankin. And Matt and I had met in college. We got married, moved here. We were working with my parents.
Awesome.
This land here in Greenwood actually was owned by my 2 sisters and I, through some money that my grandma had given us whenever she had passed away. So we had used that to make this farm operational, and we were farming cotton and hay on it. But it was, big farm equipment had to be moved to harvest when it was harvest time, and oil field was picking up. And it was just extremely dangerous and difficult to be moving all of that equipment back and forth. So we were like, what else can we do here? It's kind of off to itself.
Right.
We wanted to do something over there, but we didn't know what. So we looked at other options, and we have some friends down in Hondo that, down by San Antonio, that were in a similar situation. They were trying to supplement their their ranch income.
Right.
And we were looking at something like that. So we looked into it. We did a lot of research. We looked at the corn maze they have up in Shallow Water by Lubbock.
Okay.
And we visited there. We went to 3 or 4 corn mazes and just said, you know what, this is something we can do. I actually wanted to go to college to be a party planner. So,
well, you pretty much party plan now.
Yes, that's exactly what we do. And then, it's so much more than that.
Right.
But it is a lot to it. But a lot of it is, over the years, we've gotten into the routine of it. But
did you study ag in college? And where did y'all go to college?
Both of us went, Matt went to Stephen F. Austin and got his bachelor's there, and then he got his master's at Tech, and then I went to Tech and missing 12 hours, but one of these days I'll get there.
That's all right. That's all right. You've got life experience, and that counts for a lot.
And I've always said, I wish I knew what I was going to do before college, because then you know how you would study. I would have done accounting, honestly. I would have gone to do accounting because I do a lot of the office work, and I would like to have better knowledge of everything and learn how to save money here and there. And I wish that was what I would have done, having known so much about agriculture going in. But I didn't know, so
but that's great advice, really, for anyone that's considering opening a business, because you do have to do it all, right?
Yes,
you and Matt do it all.
Yes, and we've got a great team behind us now. We've built up over the years. I mean, some of our best friends are out there with us. We depend on them. They depend on us. We work together in so many ways. But yeah, we've grown a lot in 17 years.
Tell everyone where it started. Like, you had one tiny little tent, you were saying?
Yeah, our very, very first year, we had built it's the one building that was out there, and it is what is our country store on one side. On the other side is admissions.
Yes.
And you come in, you would go into the farm area, do all your activities, and you exit through the country store. It's still the same way. But we had a food truck. We didn't know what that was going to turn into.
Right.
So we built that first building as a barn dominium.
Okay.
So it's also my office and kind of our central headquarters and everything. And that was intended, if it didn't work out, to do a corn maze, that we were going to live there.
Oh, wow. So that was going to be house too.
Yep. That was the plan.
I love it.
We had a functioning kitchen. We have a functioning restroom, bedroom, like all the things in there. And over the years, it's just turned into little, office areas. Right,
because you definitely have outgrown it as not just as a family, but as a business as well.
And oh my gosh, I never thought we would fill the country store as full as we have it, but we've filled it up, and we actually... I just never would have thought the things that we have now are way too small.
Right.
And I never would have thought that, but
so did you have that big dream going into it? Did you think
I thought that was the big dream? I thought that was a big dream. I mean, it was a very, very big building.
Yes.
And we did it the right way as far as how it was built and structured. We have since added
a lot.
A lot. We had a food truck, and we found out real quick one food truck wasn't going to handle it. So the next year we added the Salt Lick, which was our first concession. We added another building called the Miner's Shack, where we popped kettle corn and sold the gemstone mining rough.
Wait, you said the magic word.
Yes.
Every time we say kettle corn, we're going to eat something. Yep. we're definitely going to show you.
Yes.
This is amazing. The best stuff. If you've never had kettle corn, how do you explain it?
It is salty and sweet, and it's perfect. It's the perfect combination of it.
Yes.
It's got a little... caramelized texture to it, so it's a little bit crunchy but still soft. It's not like caramel corn,
right?
So it's got some salty and sweet on it, and it's just perfect fall snack.
It really
honestly
is.
When you think of kettle corn, you just think of the fall to me.
Absolutely.
So
I think all the things. I think of your farm, of course, first.
Yes.
But I think of pumpkins, and I think of being out there at the patch. I think of, I think of fall. You're right.
Yeah.
I mean, it truly is.
It's really grown to be our staple item. Okay. So the first two buildings that we had was the Salt Lick and then the Miner's Shack. And the Miner's Shack we had it as the Miner's Shack and kettle corn for a long time. 2-3 years ago, I think, we decided that we wanted to change some things around. We added more concession buildings, but that building is still there, and we actually do cookies in it now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Little miniature chocolate chip cookies. And we bake those on the weekends and have a little bucket full of them. And you can get a bucket or a cone. So you can walk around with cookie cones and you can eat that. And we do the kettle corn down at our new building, our newest one. Okay. It's called the South 40. It's on the back 40 of the land. It's 80 acres total. So that's on the back 40. And
is that right by the maze?
Yes,
right next
it's
to the
right
maze?
next to the maze. And we actually do the kettle corn back there. We fry our funnel cakes, apple pie fries, We brew HTOT back there, and we sell that in mini gallons.
That's awesome.
And then we do brisket mac and cheese, brisket nachos, ice cream and root beer floats, and water.
So go hungry is what we're saying.
Go hungry.
Go
That's
hungry.
just one of the 6 food locations that we have out there.
I love it. It really has grown so much through the
Yes.
years. There's also rides for the kids. There's playground equipment. There's a cow milking station. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I am not, my ag terms might not be
it's fine.
up to par.
Yeah,
but,
we do the learning barn.
okay.
That was actually our second year, or
Okay.
our third year.
I
Our third
love
year.
that.
It is our number one agriculture place on the farm where we have all of the animals. We have different kinds of cattle. There's a lot of people aren't aware that they just think of a cow. They don't know that there's a beef cow.
Yeah.
There's dairy cows.
No idea.
So, and right now, many Highlander cattle are really popular. You know, the ones that have the hair in the eyes.
Oh, yes. I
like
have seen
from
that.
Ferdinand.
Yes.
We have,
And what are they called again?
They're Highlanders.
Highlander. Okay.
And they are very hairy, and they are. We have 2 of them out there.
Lots of personality in their
lots
face.
of personality. And Poppy is the mom, and then she has a little baby named Piper.
Oh.
And yeah,
how sweet. So there's a baby out
yes,
there.
we've been adding lots of different varieties of things.
Yes.
We have goats, but yeah, the animals are the number one attraction.
I bet.
A
Because
lot
there's
of
pig
peop-
races too,
yes,
right?
We do
Okay,
pig races. The milking, the milk that we get from the milking demonstration, they actually take that milk and put it in a bucket at the end of the pig race track.
Okay.
And that's
okay.
its prize. And they put one of our Fiddlesticks cookies in there. And the pig that wins gets the cookie. The rest of the pigs get the milk.
That's why they're running so
That's why they're
fast.
running so
They're like, there's a cookie.
Well, they gotta
I
burn
would
off
run
their,
for cookies,
they
so
gotta
I
burn
could
off
see
all
it
those
work.
calories too. So.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's awesome.
But we use that. We have a lot of schools come.
Yeah, let's talk about that because I
Yes.
think that's a very interesting component
Yes.
too. Because I think of birthdays. We've celebrated
Yes.
our kids' birthdays for years out there because we have 2 November babies,
Yes.
and so we were always out there for birthdays. But that's just one reason to go. Of course, families go out there. I'm sure there's family reunions. Pick out your pumpkin before
Yes.
before Halloween. But let's talk about the field trips that you do for the schools because I love that.
The Learning Barn was the number one reason that we built our field trips. Were the reason that we built the Learning Barn, and we have it. We wanted an educational place.
Yes.
The corn maze is educational, but some of those kids they're preschool and kindergarten, and they just don't quite get the concept of corn and how it grows and what it's used for.
Right.
So we thought something simple like a milking demonstration, something visual that they can see. They use the milking demonstration has the claw that will attach to the cow's udder, and they can see the milk coming from the cow through the tube into the weigh glass.
So cool.
So they get a visual of that, and they're just completely amazed.
I bet.
And they really
and have good questions. I've been in there when they
great
have.
question. I mean, the number
great
one
que-
question is, does chocolate milk come from chocolate cows? So, some of them are great, but,
But hey, if I was 4, that's a good valid question.
It is a good question. But
That's cute.
It's
I
really
love that.
fun getting to see the kids. They're so loud whenever they see that milk the first time. They're like, "Oh my gosh, it's so exciting!" But we
It is.
try
It's
to make it.
educational.
We try to make it educational, something different for every age group.
Mm-hmm.
We can gear that down for the younger kids
Mm-hmm.
and not talk as much and hold their attention, or we can pump it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times Matt likes to talk to some of the older kids, and then we also have some bilingual classes that come out there. We have a couple of girls, and then Matt also comes in. He'll talk to some of the kids that maybe get a little bit of bilingual.
Mm-hmm.
They'll get a little bit of the lesson in Spanish and some in English,
great.
and they're learning different terms when they're out there. So
Mm-hmm.
we try to make everything as educational as possible. A lot of it's still fun.
Yeah, education and fun together. I think that what better combination is
Yes,
that?
and tug of war, that's one of the things that we have out there. I mean, that's not an educational thing, but it's something fun, and it can be a team
Yes.
thing.
Team building.
Boys versus
Yes.
girls, one class versus another class, and so on. But we have about 300 kids that come every weekday.
That's crazy.
We are open 7 days a week, but we do Monday through Fridays for the school field trips.
Mm-hmm.
Parents can come. We've actually cut back in the last 3 years. 2 years, we don't allow siblings on school field trip days anymore. A lot of it was the younger sibling that's not the student, would want to go do something else. The parent would get distracted. They'd wander off. They'd miss what they were doing. So right now we're focusing on just the student.
That makes sense.
And we let them do what they are supposed to do. We get them in their group. Parents can come if they want to.
Yeah.
Some schools don't allow the parents to come because they want it to be focused, the kids to focus on what they're doing.
Right.
So we usually work with the schools really, really closely.
Love that.
We have two.
Because for a lot of kids, this is their first time on a
Yes.
farm. I mean, right.
Yes,
like
a lot.
Think of all the city kids out there. I mean, me included.
Yes.
My first experience really was on Fiddlesticks Farms.
Yes.
So I love that you're providing that education, fun for them to see it different than just a piece of land they're driving by.
Right. And I mean, if they're not being told that's a cow versus a goat, they don't know.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get that education. And we take it for granted because we grew up doing it and seeing it. So we don't always see things. They always say take off the farmer hat and think about it a little different. So that's what we're trying to do. And we try to do things that our kids might not have been exposed to for when we do fun things for ourselves. Like we are a big baseball family, but we go to our kids' baseball tournaments. We don't really go to many of the professional baseball games.
Right.
So, we get to do fun stuff like that, and we always try to get ideas
that's smart.
from other tourist places, Great Wolf Lodge, different things, and we bring that back, and if there's something that they do really well, then we try to do that too here, and
love that.
Try to keep it local, but also
with your spin.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
I love that. What if there were three things that when you take off that farmer's hat and you're trying to teach us city folk what would those three things be that you want everyone to know about farming?
Well, I mean, first of all, farming is extremely expensive as far as I'm talking about traditional farming, but also at Fiddlesticks too, because we are still a working farm.
Right.
I don't remember who said it, but one of the presidents from a long, long time ago.
That's right. We can Google it.
Yeah, we'll Google it. But it was the farmers and ranchers are one of the only people that have to pay. Is it the shipping both ways or something? You have to pay. We have to pay the wholesale. Like we don't get the big discounts. You pay the high price of everything for the seed and the chemical and the water and the electricity and everything, and then we're not getting anything much in return. A lot of farmers that are farming cotton, we're still seeing cotton prices that we have seen back in the 60s.
Wow.
Cotton prices are extremely low.
Really?
They go up and down on certain years. It just depends on what's going on with the economy, but it's not...
How do we change that? How does that catch up? How does that...
We don't depend on exports from other countries.
There you go. Jessica said it.
We have to depend on American made, and that's the only way we don't
That's the only way for cotton farmers to make more money.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
see, there's number one thing we have learned today about farming. What else? Because I really am intrigued by it because it's a life I don't know, right?
Yeah, we have to depend on the weather.
Yeah, and we don't get a lot of, if you're not here in West Texas, we don't get a lot of rain. We get a lot of wind, but not a lot of rain.
A lot of the rainfall, I mean, I remember growing up, we had 11 to 12 inches was average for the year. Well, we don't even see that now.
No.
I mean,
I don't think we've been close.
No, we have.
You probably know more than I do.
I think just down at Midland, at our farm here in Greenwood, we have, I think 5 inches of rain for the year since last September. Oh, gosh. Since last September, and we got 2 or 3 inches of it a couple of months ago, like
when we had the big
rain.
Big rain.
So it just doesn't do that anymore.
So you have to pay for the water, right?
You pay for the water and electricity, and then some farmers don't have that, and it's called dry land. So you depend on your insurance. Cotton can be insured.
Right.
That might be something that's a thing of the past in the future.
Wow.
And then you're just
you just eat it.
Yep. Yeah. So it's really difficult. It's a really hard time for the farmers and ranchers. Safety is another big thing.
Okay.
A lot of the equipment has gotten so big. Yeah. And everybody knows how dangerous the roads are with so much traffic and construction everywhere.
Right.
our equipment, I mean, a lot of oil field traffic construction is, equipment is big, just like farm equipment.
Right.
Ours moves slow. Some of that stuff goes on trucks that can go faster, but slow moving vehicles, big cotton strippers, hay balers, those things, they have to go slow, and people whip in and out.
Yeah.
There's wrecks all the time with farm equipment, and people I wish that they could slow down and just see the things around them and take in the things. Life just goes by too fast. So
it does.
You need to slow down. That's
Good
another
advice,
thing. And
yes.
we try to keep things a little slow paced at Fiddlesticks too.
Yeah.
So that's another thing.
I love that. Another benefit to going.
Yeah.
You really do. You feel like you've kind of stepped back in time, and you get to really just enjoy being, which I think is something, as a mom, you're busy, three boys. Sometimes you don't just get to be, right? Because you're in your mind going, okay, I got to feed him. I got to get this done. I got to sign these papers. I got to get him to this doctor's appointment. I mean, the list goes on, right? I don't have to tell you moms what's going on in your head. But all those things, sometimes it's nice to just step back and be. And
Absolutely.
And Fiddlesticks is a great place to do it.
I feel like when you come out there, you can breathe.
Yes. And be outside.
Yes.
There's nothing better than being outside,
Yes.
Except for if the wind is blowing 1,000 miles an hour. But even then, go out and enjoy Fiddlesticks.
Yes.
We do something called Quote of the Day. Okay. And so let me mix these up, and then you're going to pick one randomly, and then tell me what that quote means to you. The grow card. I love that.
Cool.
Well, because Fiddlesticks has grown so much. What does it say?
Oh, what does it say?
Yeah.
Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Nelson Mandela.
Well,
I love that. Okay, cool.
What does that mean to you?
Well, in a lot of different ways, because we were just talking about how Fiddlesticks has grown, but also how our kids have grown.
Yes.
And our oldest one is, he's 12, and it breaks my heart because he's going to be a teenager next year.
I know.
But he's so responsible in some ways. Some ways he's still a kid.
Which you hope they still need to be a kid,
I want
right?
him to be. But I was saying he's in charge of training a lot of our kids on how to pop kettle corn. He's
That's
12.
awesome.
We hire 14 and up, so he's 2 to 3 years younger than most of these kids that are popping, and younger than most of the all of the adults that we have out there working. And I feel like we're growing our next generation out there.
You must be so proud. And his name is so cool, Trail.
And
what a cool name is Trail. I love that.
Trail, Crease, and Straight. And they're all doing great. And I love that we're raising our kids out there. They're getting to grow up doing all of this. But we're also raising a lot of the kids that work for us, like I just said, it's their first job.
Yeah.
They're learning responsibility. They're growing.
Yes.
Into
and you're
little
educating
adults.
them. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
I love that.
So we're not just growing a corn maze or growing sunflowers or pumpkins. We're also growing their sweet little minds.
Yeah, I love that.
Hopefully
I'm so proud
making
of
them
y'all.
good people where they can go out into the workforce and have good work ethic, depending on where they want to go. I mean, they might not want to farm and ranch, but they're being taught an education in the workforce.
They're learning life skills that they'll never get anywhere else.
Yes.
I am so proud of you and Matt, because I have seen you grow. I remember.
Same for you.
You were just like, you guys were babies. I feel like when this, when you started it, and I am just so proud of you and to see it how it goes and how it grows, and your family's grown and they're beautiful, and you're doing really good work, and I love that. I love to see people doing good work and something they love.
Yes.
And I think that's important.
Yes.
Is there a quote that you've lived by that has just kind of been your motto through the years?
I guess the only quote we really go by is "Farming with a Texas Tune," because we love music.
Oh,
it's
good.
Upbeat,
Yes.
fun, depending on the mood that you're in, what happened for the day. If you come out and the tractor tire's flat and it's got to be changed,
Yes.
put some music on and it changes your whole
Changes the
attitude.
tune.
And it was something that we came up with our first year. We just always wanted to have music, and it makes it more fun. And actually Disney has come up with a study that music makes you happy.
Yes.
So we incorporated that out at Fiddlesticks, and we tried to keep people upbeat. And
I love that.
I don't know. It makes it kind of a carefree zone whenever they come out. So I guess that's our own little quote that we've come up with over the years. So
that is so cute and so appropriate because I agree with you. I think music sets the tone and the tune of the place, right? I mean, it really does. And to me, there's nothing better than walking in, feeling the vibe, and what you do. Because I remember I used to work at Six Flags years ago. I was a singer and dancer at Six Flags theme park when I was in my previous life. There you go. Fun fact for today. I can't wait to hear your fun fact. But when I was at Six Flags, their motto was, we were entertainers, right? And so we were there to take them away from the realities of their day-to-day world and put a smile on their face, right? And I feel like that's what you do. And what you get to do out at Fiddlesticks is you get to take people away from the realities of their day-to-day world.
That's a good way to put it. We tell our staff we are in the customer service business. And I guess another motto that we've picked up over the years from other friends of ours that do corn mazes is M&Ms, making memories.
Oh, I love that.
And we actually, at our orientation, we haven't done it in the past couple of years, but at our orientation, we usually give them some M&Ms. And we ask them, what does this mean to you? And anytime that they think of M&Ms, I mean, it's something as simple as taking a picture of a family on the rocking chair at the farm so that everybody can be in the picture.
Yes.
You know, it's something simple like that. Or if a mom has her hands full carrying her plate of food, go carry the food while she's got the kids. You know, we try to teach them little things like that. And a lot of it is just common courtesy, and you treat people how you would want to be treated. And we're trying to instill that in those kids to make them aware that it's so much social media has made it all about them. Yeah. And we want them to not focus on that so much and not cater to everybody and, you know, wear yourself out, but do things to help other people when you see that they're in need of something. So
make that one-on-one difference in someone's life.
Yes,
instead of how many likes can I get,
or smile at someone, tell them, hey, how's it going? You know, let me get that for you. You dropped it. And go get them a new drink that they just dropped and bought. So, you know, things like that. So we try to teach them that. I don't know.
I love M&M, making memories. I think that's so cute. Yes. I love it. Now I'm going to think of that every time I look at an M&M and think that, because to me that's what life's about, right? Is making memories and with your family, and it's such a great family-friendly place. What advice would you give to someone that is maybe thinking of opening a business? I know you mentioned earlier the accounting part, and I really love that you said that. But what advice would you give? You know, because you and I both work with our husbands, right? We we love it. It's, you know, there are so many pros to having your own business, but there's a lot you learn through the years. What have you learned that you want to share with someone that's thinking about
communication? If you no matter who you're with, communication is going to be big. I mean, you have to talk it out. Talk to somebody, talk with someone, brainstorm, do research. Yes. I'm not saying that we're the most successful place in the world, but I feel like we've done our part in researching. Like I said, we didn't know how the community was going to accept us. So we did research as far as what did work and what didn't work at other corn mazes. And we took those few items that did work and we made sure that we put those in first at the farm. We built our building to be a home in case something happened and we weren't able to make the farm work out the way we wanted it to. So research, a lot of research, talking, I guess finding a big another company that is kind of in your similar situation,
like a mentor.
Yes, like
someone that you
and not even the same sort of business, but someone that you can kind of bounce ideas off of. A lot of ours was Cece's Pizza. Cece's Pizza actually was opening in Midland the same year that we were. And we have gotten to be such great friends with Tana and John that we're both the same age. Like both of our businesses are the same age, and we have such a great partnership.
Love that.
They deliver pizzas to the schools. The schools order pizza from Cece's and they'll deliver it for their lunch. It's simple and it's easy. You make a phone call and you get it delivered out there to them.
Oh, like when the schools come
when
do
the
the
schools come
field
for
trip.
field
That's
trips.
so smart.
Yes,
I love
so
that.
the school doesn't have to send lunches. They, you know, it's easy, it's simple, and we're helping each other out.
Yeah.
And
supporting another
yes.
local business, which
And
we love here. I mean,
yes, and that's
love
what
that.
we wanted to do. You know, we have mascot weekend that's coming up, and it's a bunch of local mascots that we have friends coming out.
Yeah.
We try to support our heroes, veterans and first responders. We have listened over the years. We've always said no dogs or pets allowed. And over the years, we actually added doggy days, and it's been a hit. And you should see the amount of people that come out with their four-legged friends. It's awesome.
I bet, and I want to give that day out right now so you can mark your calendars, because people, I mean, I know, because I love my four-legged friends.
Yes.
I mean, like I can imagine how fun that would be to bring them out to Fiddlesticks Farms.
Yes.
So what day is
it's actually, we do two, one in October. I think it was the second week we were open.
Okay.
So it was further back in October, and our next one's going to be November the 16th.
Okay. And that's closing weekend.
That's
November
closing weekend.
16th.
Yes.
Okay.
But we have had so many customers tell us what they wanted, and we listened. We communicated with them. We couldn't do it that first year, but we were like, what can we do in the next year?
And I love that you listen to your customers. That's great advice for anyone thinking of opening
communication.
a business.
Open communication is, I feel like, the key to a lot of stuff. If you can't talk to someone about something and another thing that we do I'm bouncing back to what we do at our orientation. We used to show a Chick-fil-A video that everybody has a story. It's just if you bother to hear it. If somebody came out to the farm and they're having a horrible day, and we give them 5 minutes of our time just talking to them, and it makes their whole day turn around. I mean, we're communicating with them, we're talking to them. It maybe changes their whole way of how they look at things. So it's little things here and there.
I love that.
And I guess communication is the number one thing that we've always kind of tried to focus on, whether it's between myself and Matt or our kids.
Right.
Which sometimes there's yelling. Don't count that out too.
It happens. I mean,
stress levels get up there.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, and I'm glad you said that, because what is I want to ask like a couple of questions about, because I'm sure you have so many memories of 17 years or seasons, right?
Yes.
What is the let's start with funniest. What's the funniest thing that's ever happened out there?
Oh, well, okay. Funny to me, maybe not to everyone else, and I'm not making fun of the person that said it, but it was a teacher got off the bus on our first week of field trips, one of our first or second years, and saw our goats over at the goat walk and said, "Oh, look at the baby cows," and was teaching her kids about the cows. And I was like, they're actually goats.
Who's going to tell her?
Yes,
Who's going to tell her?
It was just a fun, a fun memory to think back on. But little things like that here and there. And
yes,
I don't know, Matt and I have had so many different things off and on.
Right. What about what about what was the scariest moment? I'm trying to think of all the emotions that you guys have gone through. Was there ever like a big storm coming, or
we did have, I'm thinking when it was 2 years ago, maybe, we had a high wind. It was, we just thought it was going to be a little thunderstorm, and we had high winds, and it flipped a tent while we were open.
That would be scary.
Took it, but you have to roll with the punches, and you have to. Tents are not permanent fixtures, and we've got it all taken care of and cleaned up and everything. And
might have been some kettle corn flowing across the farm, but
we had we have a giant rocking chair, a porch swing, like a big porch swing, and had it delivered in late summer, right about 2 weeks before we opened, so early September, and we had a big downburst. It wasn't even a rain or anything, and we had this huge downburst, and it flipped over our cattle pot trailer.
Oh wow!
It flipped over the big giant rocking chair, and this is giant rocking chair.
Yeah,
and it broke the main beam. And hadn't even had a guest set on it once.
Oh no!
And had to put that out, get a new beam for it, get it repaired, and it was out of commission, brand new, out of commission for its first year. And It's just
It's part of being a
little
business
things.
owner. Yeah, you
Yes.
just go, okay,
Yep.
got to roll with the punches, like
and
you
I've
said.
always said, like, I have a list of things that I have to do before we get done, get ready to open. Matt has that same list, and I put everything in priority. And these things have to be done. These things, if they don't get done, no one's going to know.
Right.
So we'll do it the next week. We'll do it the next week.
It'll get done eventually. Yes.
So, you know,
I
and
love
some
that.
things we're still putting off from, you know, 2 or 3 years ago,
Yeah.
changing a doorknob that was getting stuck. Well, we haven't changed that doorknob yet until the other day when the staff went in there and they're like, we can't get in, locked ourselves out, draw
Right.
the lock out, put a new doorknob on. Okay, now here's 10 more years.
Yeah, you're like, okay, now it's time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
no, I get that.
it's
As a
little
business
things.
owner, I get that.
And
There's we have so much on our to-do
Yes.
list that we still haven't finished in our building that we're like, we need to do this at some
Yeah.
point. But yeah, I mean, you have to go with what's priority. What's going to help the customer first,
Yes.
right?
And
And their
we
experience.
do that.
And then the other stuff, you know,
Yes.
like I don't know if I need to fix this board that I'm looking at that's broken right here. So
Yep.
I'll be like,
Or
no one's seeing it.
put it
We'll
in
get
the file
to it.
box. We'll see it later.
We'll
Steph.
get
We'll
to
get to
another
it.
day. I love that.
Yes.
I love that. What is your favorite memory on the farm? Like, and I want this to be with your family. I want your favorite memory with your family on the farm.
We always take our family pictures at the farm, which it's not necessarily when we're open. We try to do that afterwards because our stress level's a little bit lower, or
Right.
even in November.
So once it closes.
Once it closes, we switch it up a little bit. Sometimes we're in front of one of the buildings. Sometimes we're in front of the sunflowers. Sometimes we're in the corn maze. Sometimes we're with the animals. So we always try to mix it up a little bit. But for, I guess, 12 years now, ever since our oldest one was born, we've been taking pictures at the farm.
I remember
our
when they
family
were little
pictures.
itty bitties. Now that you say that, I think, oh yeah,
Yes.
I do remember seeing all your pictures from out
Yes.
there are always there, and I love that.
Yep, it's one of my
Family
favorite things.
I love doing family photos
Yes.
too.
And
It's-
another cool
the
memory.
kids may not love it as much as the parents do, but
Yes, but I mean, you got to do it.
you got to do it. It's
Kids, just do what your mom says.
Yes, what she said. Yes, and I hope my kids are listening.
Grin and
yes,
bear
do what your do what your parents say.
We weren't open yet. It was in the summer or spring, but we had a rain, and it was, I mean, the whole farm is 80 acres. So the back 40 is mostly the farm, the maize, pumpkins, and sunflowers. The upper part is the parking lot and the buildings and the courtyard. But we were out in the courtyard, and it had just finished raining, and we had a rainbow on the entire, like, we got end to end right on the property, like from our parking lot to where our corn maze was.
But that was beautiful.
And it was I don't know. I feel
Just
like
one of
there's
those
so many
memories.
blessings that happen out there. We've had engagements that have happened out there.
Any weddings?
We have had weddings, not during the Fiddlesticks season,
Okay.
but we do private events out there April through August.
Oh, okay.
So we
Didn't know
have
that. Yeah.
graduation, quinceañeras, weddings.
Love that.
We do fundraisers out there. We actually did a fundraiser during our season one year, and that was really tough. We did it on a Friday night before we opened, but there were 3 kids in Greenwood that had cancer. Literally 2 weeks we put this fundraiser together for them. We supplied the venue, they got the band, they got all the auction items and everything done
That's
together.
awesome.
So we were a community that came together. I love being in the Greenwood area, and Midland has started to, or Midland accepts us. Odessa, a lot of people in Odessa accept us, and
Yes.
a lot of people still don't know about us.
Really?
So
well, hopefully they will after
I know.
today.
Andrews knows they
Yeah.
come. I mean, we have a lot of field trips that come from New Mexico. We
Wow.
have field trips that come from San Angelo. And another really cool thing,
Uh-huh.
I got a phone call a few weeks ago that a guy from a teacher from San Angelo. I think it's a smaller school, has like a Compass type academy.
Okay.
He has students that he's been teaching, and they came on their first field trip when they were younger, and they're seniors now. And he asked them where they wanted to go, and they said they wanted to come back to Fiddlesticks. So
That's awesome.
they're going to come back when they're as seniors in high school and get to see the farm, how much it's changed since they came a few years ago. So
I love that. That is sweet. And to get a before and after picture. And
very
just-
cool.
That is awesome. So many, you're making beautiful memories
Yes.
for everyone that comes to the farm. And I just love that. I love
Yes.
that for you, and I love that for our community.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you, we do something called Question of the Day.
Okay.
So I'm sitting here in Midland, Texas with the owner of Fiddlesticks Farms, Jessica Norton, and we're having a great conversation. This is so much fun. I'm so glad we're doing this. All right, you got the brave card, because you have to be brave to open a business.
Yes.
I mean, you really do, and especially something that hadn't been done out here before. That's brave. What does your card say?
Tell me something about yourself that I wouldn't find in your bio or resume.
Oh, good. This is, I was going to ask you a fun fact, so tell me.
I'm the oldest of 3 sisters.
Okay.
There are 3 of us girls. We all grew up farming. One of us did not marry a farmer, but the other 2 of us did marry farmers. And then I have 3 boys. My middle sister has 3 girls, and my baby sister has 2 boys and 2 girls.
Oh my goodness!
So there's 10 and even 5 and 5 grandkids.
How fun. I mean, and they're all around the same ages? Are they
similar? Yeah.
Similar ages?
Our middle, all of our second ones are in the same year.
Okay.
So, yeah, they're all in the same.
How fun to be pregnant. Well, I mean, as fun as it can be to be. I loved being pregnant. Not everybody does. But to be pregnant with your siblings at the same time, your sisters at that. How fun. I love that. That is a fun fact.
Matt has 1 brother and no kids on that side, no grandkids on that side. So
those boys are the apple of their eye.
Yes, they are. Yes. But yeah, I mean, there's really not a lot to tell about us. We grew up in agriculture, and we just kind of stuck to our roots, and we like to do what we do, and we're very social. So all of us like to be out and about talking to everybody and doing things and party planning. So.
I love it. See, you got to do the big dream, and you wanted to be a party player, and you do that on a daily basis.
Yes, daily.
I love that.
It works out great, and my kids like it too. So.
And I think God gives us our gifts, and He gifted y'all at a young age of this love, right? For ag, and to be able to take that and to grow it and to share the love with others. I think that is a beautiful thing. And not everyone gets to do that, right? I mean, just whatever the circumstances are that you have that you can do, you guys took that circumstance and just like ran with it. And I love that, because sometimes in life you're scared to try something that hasn't been done, right?
Yeah, and I mean, we were looking for something to help diversify our income. Right. And it's turned into something so much more than that. And we still love it. Right. We absolutely love it. And it's something that we don't want to ever have to stop doing. If our bodies and our kids will help us out and allow us to continue to do so. But I feel like it gives everybody a release whenever they have some tension in their life. They come out there, and it does the same thing for us. I mean, we can sit back and breathe after a day has gone by and just kind of reflect on everything. And it's still, I mean, there are still stressful times, but it's still one of those things that we just look out our back porch and we're like, oh my gosh, this is ours.
Yeah. How cool is that? Yeah. What's the big dream? When you look back at the end, what do you want the legacy of Fiddlesticks Farms to be? So
I don't even know what I am. I'm like a 5th generation farmer.
Oh my goodness.
My great-grandparents.
That's incredible.
My great-grandparents, my grandparents, my parents, I'm 4th generation, so I hope that our kids will be 5th generation.
Yeah, that'd be incredible.
Yep, all in West Texas. So
I love that.
Farmers can survive in West Texas. We're the toughest of the tough.
Seriously, I mean, just to go spend, I'd say go spend a day and see how busy y'all are running around here and there. It's hard work. It's not like you're just sitting back and going, hey, everyone have fun. I mean, there's probably times like maybe at the end of the night or something you can do, but
we've always talked about how mine and Matt's busiest time of the year is always August and September. Mm-hmm. We start planting the corn maze in July. We plant, we keep the fields clean, we plant again. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, but we're waiting for the crop to grow. Right. But then whenever it gets down to August, September, I usually start working in the office when the boys go back to school. So I have my summers with them.
Nice.
but we get to really get busy. And that's when it starts to get to be a lot of stuff going on, like this and this and this and this and this.
Right.
And once it's like everything goes crazy, and then we open and we're like, oh, okay, we can take a breath.
Breathe. Yeah.
And our staff is busy. We're still busy. We're doing more maintenance type
Right.
busy stuff and putting out little fires here and there.
Yeah.
But our staff, we've trained them. We've gotten them the tools that they need to do the
Right.
jobs that they have been hired for. And we're hoping that they can do that and take a little bit of load off of us.
Yeah.
So we try to keep our costs down. We try to make sure that we have kids that are fully capable of doing those
Right.
jobs. So it's a lot that
Yeah.
goes into it.
It
but
really is.
It feels like when we open, we can sit back, and that's when we can relax a little
Yeah.
bit and breathe.
That's
So
awesome.
hopefully have good weather. So.
Well, Jessica, we are coming kind of to the close. We have a few more questions because I
Okay.
always love to shout out local favorites.
Okay.
And I would love to hear some Greenwood favorites. But it can be Greenwood or beyond, right?
Okay.
So I'm just going to throw something out and you tell me your favorite restaurant. Besides Fiddlesticks Farms.
We go to Rooster's Ice House, Rooster's Backyard in Greenwood.
Okay.
Quite a bit. It's
Awesome.
just a very casual little. Well, it started out as a drive-through beer store, but they opened like a little backyard area
Okay.
back there. So we go there a lot, and then it's not really a restaurant. It's Tea and Energy. Our friends own Tea and
Oh,
Energy,
yeah.
so we go over there too and get
Awesome.
our energy fix.
Because everybody needs energy, let me tell you.
Yes.
Especially, what time is it almost? Yeah, so at recording
Yes.
time, it's almost 3. If anyone feels that 3, I call it the 3 o'clock slump.
Yes. Oh my
it's like,
gosh.
that's when that energy tea,
You need a
good stuff.
kick in the butt.
It really is. Yeah. Favorite coffee shop?
I actually don't drink coffee,
Okay.
and Matt does, but he goes to the Black Rifle.
Oh, yeah.
and gets the K cups, and he makes his own coffee.
Mix it at home.
Yep.
Nice,
So-
nice. Yeah, we make a lot at
Yep.
home too. Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes it's just easier.
Yes.
Sometimes it's easier, but we
Yes.
have so many great coffee shops
Yes.
in West Texas.
Oh, yes.
And it seems like they're popping up.
They are.
left and
They're all
right,
over the
and
place. But I mean, there's a demand for it.
That's
so-
right. We all need our
Yep,
we need our
exactly.
caffeine.
Yes.
Favorite life hack. So what is something that makes your life easier?
I don't know. I mean, I guess, email and text messaging and everything. Like, not that I don't like to talk to people. I do,
Right.
but it's just so much easier. And then you have
Yeah.
record of what was said and done and talked about and dates, and it's time stamped and, all the things.
For a busy person,
For a
it
busy
is-
person. And
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and hands-free calling in a car. Oh my gosh, I'll never do another car without hands-free calling. So
That is a great life
Yes,
hack.
that is a
I'm
good
like, what
one.
did we do before?
Yes, absolutely.
It was not good. We
No.
were taking a hand off the wheel.
Yes.
Not good.
and shifting and all the things.
So true. Okay, favorite book.
Okay, so I told you our boys are really big into the baseball. We
Yes.
are big Savannah Bananas fans.
Have you seen them?
Yes, we have.
Oh,
we
how
watch them on
fun.
TV. We've gone to a game. But Jesse Cole and his wife have written a children's book.
Oh,
And
okay.
I can't remember the name of it, Going Bananas or something like that.
I think so. That sounds familiar.
And it's a great book for
Okay.
kids, and it's teaching them. It's kind of like Spookily the Square Pumpkin, and it's teaching you that everybody's different,
Yeah.
and you just kind of have to get to know them and how their personality, and
Yes.
you can't just judge a book by the cover and that kind of thing.
Teaches you a lot
Yes.
of good things to learn in life.
Yes,
Yeah.
and Spookly's another good one too.
Okay.
So,
There you go. There's your favorite book.
kids' books.
Okay, I love it. I love it. Let's close out with favorite life lesson. What's the biggest life lesson you've learned?
Being receptive of other people's, I guess they're not situations, but just ideas, and listening to them, and thinking about it a different way. I mean, taking off our farmer's hat has done us a lot of good, and we've added a few things that are not necessarily farm related, but they're fun.
Right.
And we listen to things that are good for kids. We listen to things that are for older kids that are still coming out there, adults coming on date nights. We're trying
Right.
to do different things for different
Yeah.
crowds and just being receptive to everybody and not just brushing off their ideas just because you can.
Right.
So
I love that growth mindset that you and Matt have. I love it.
if we had the money to pay for everything that we have ideas
Amen.
for, oh man.
My husband's over there going, yep, amen.
Yes.
Well, we're at the end of our podcast. Is there anything that I've so enjoyed this, Jessica. This has been, like I said,
Us
a long
too.
time coming.
Yes.
And I've just loved hearing your story and what you've learned and everything about Fiddlesticks Farms. Is there anything coming into the podcast that you're like, oh, I hope we get to talk about this, and we haven't, that you want to share with everybody right now?
Well, I know you said this wasn't going to air until a little bit later, but yeah, we have, we try to cram in as much fall activity as we can. We try to go as long as we can in our season without the weather turning bad.
Right.
So we're going to go until November the 16th. Every year we try to open the last Saturday of September, and we run until middle of November.
Right before Thanksgiving.
Right before Thanksgiving. We do fireworks and helicopter rides in October.
I didn't know you did helicopter rides.
Yes,
You
we
learn
do
something new every
helicopter
day.
rides
That's
every
awesome.
both days all weekend long in October.
Okay.
So we do that.
Fine.
We're I'm looking at doing hot air balloon. I want to bring things in that would be on somebody's bucket list.
I love that.
And do different things.
Yeah.
So they can get that taken care of and get knocked off their bucket list and come back and make memories again and again. But yeah, as far as what we didn't talk about, I mean, we talked about a lot. I just think our dates, we try to do something different every weekend. Still the same activities, but we add something on top of it, like Mascots Weekend or Doggy Days or Dairy Day. We had Dairy Day, and we give away chocolate milk, and our cows in our dairy barn are the highlight of that.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
do different themes here and there.
Well, good. And we're going to do a giveaway. She's given us some tickets.
Yes.
We're going to do a giveaway on our social media. So please refer to that when you hear this and the podcast goes out, because we want everyone to experience and make beautiful memories out there, because that's what it's all about. And as I said earlier, I'm so proud of you and Matt and your
Thank
family.
you.
And
Well,
I
we're
look
proud
forward.
of you. Look at where
Thank
you've
you.
gotten in your life. This is
Thank
awesome.
you.
I'm proud of you.
Well, I'm just glad that our paths have brought us together
I know.
for all these years, and that we can support each other's business, because
Yes.
I've always been a huge cheerleader of yours. And I just think that anything that is good for families and growing and learning like you're doing is amazing, and we
Yes.
need more of that in the world. So
Yes,
thanks for
I
doing
agree.
such a
Well,
good
thank you.
job. And please follow them on social media. They do a great job on social media of
Yes.
keeping everyone posted. I loved how you teased who the
Our maze
Luke
design,
Bryan,
yes.
that he was the maze this year.
We have a really awesome kid. His name is Nathan, and he has been doing a whole lot more of social media. I don't know what his dream
Awesome.
was, if that was his dream of doing it. But him and his family actually have the soup kitchen, Midland Soup Kitchen.
Okay, yeah.
And
Shout
he's-
out Nathan.
Yes, Nathan does a really good job, and he's growing his business, so he's picking up clients here and there. So if you're looking for a social media guru, he does amazing at it. Just don't take him away from me in the fall.
There you go. Jessica, thank you so
Yes.
much. I've enjoyed the time.
thank you.
And we hope that you will share, go to Fiddlesticks Farms, tell everyone, tell them wherever they live. Because, as you were saying,
Well, and if you're not from this area or have family coming into this area, look around where you are from. We have friends that have corn mazes all across the country. I mean, we have friends up in Maine. If you have family in Maine in the fall,
Yeah.
they're looking for something to do. You can look at Georgia, Mississippi,
Right.
Oklahoma. We have friends that have a corn maze up in Lubbock, down in Hondo. You know, there's
I love that.
a bunch of people. We have actually a corn party that we get to attend every year.
That's so cute.
Yes,
I love it.
And it's a lot of
I
mazes from
love
over
that.
the country that gather together. We share ideas. We listen to each other. And reinvent the wheel if
Right.
it's not broken. So
Absolutely.
we bounce ideas off of each other. And to be honest, our boys' schedules with spring baseball has not allowed us to go in the last few years. I'd really like to get back to doing it, but we have a social media page that we share all kinds of ideas with, like
love
food
that.
items and stuff like that.
Because it's good to have other people that you can
Yes.
bounce ideas. And I wish more businesses did that,
Yes.
right? Because how cool is that to see what's worked, what doesn't work? Why not?
Yes.
Don't reinvent the wheel, like
Yep.
you said. I love that. Well, that is
Yes.
so cool.
But support your local maze.
Yes.
I mean, even if they're not a maze, just a church parking lot with pumpkins and stuff, if they have that set up, go support them, because they bought those pumpkins or got those pumpkins and they came from a farm somewhere down the road. So
I love it.
Go support your local farmers and buy local.
Yes,
Yes,
buy local.
buy local.
Buy local. You are amazing. Get it? Pun intended.
Yes.
Amazing. Jessica, thank you for sharing your
Thank
time with
you.
us. Thank you for listening and for supporting our show and passing it on to someone you love. Let's make more memories together. So let's let everyone listen to this, because this has been such a great conversation. And we want to thank our sponsors as well. So a big shout out to Rig ID, Then FR, Kevin Foreman, Foreman Financial, Tapestry Hotel Midland, Omni Midland Hotel, and who did I forget? Midland Cap Company. And also just support local, as Jessica mentioned, because that's what it's all about. You're supporting others, families' lives, and their livelihood. So thank you for joining us. You make it a great day. And don't forget to dream big, believe, and never give up. You make it a good one.